Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Castello Show. It is match week 8. We are super excited to be here with you. We are going to jump into last week's games. We're going to do kind of a quick thing, but first we got a couple big stories. There's a bunch of MLS news going around. John, take it away.
So, today's Thursday.
Yes.
Okay. What is that, April 10th?
Yes.
Yeah. And so there was meetings in Chicago today for the league. I don't know if it's specifically owners, but decision makers for the teams.
The powers that be.
Yes. One of the things they were discussing was a new potential season format that instead of being February, March to October, November, now becomes like the rest of the world, fall to spring, starting in August-ish and ending in May-ish.
Yep.
The format actually has a winter break for about 5 weeks through December and January.
We don't get it a Boxing Day?
No, we wouldn't.
Actually, that's such bullshit. That's the best part of the Premier League season is Boxing Day.
The Premier League, but now people can watch that and it doesn't interfere with the MLS. Plus, you look at your Minnesotas, your Montreals, probably not the best time of year to play there.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, I think it's long overdue. So, they did, nothing was finalized and nothing's going to be finalized. The earliest they're looking at is, I think, the 26-27 season after the World Cup. But there's a lot of reasons it's the right thing. I mean, aligning with the transfer windows.
That's the biggest pro.
Of the rest of the world.
I think.
I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's one of the biggest.
Oh, to me it is. I think it's a huge issue with MLS teams is that a lot of the MLS winter is when you're doing your off-season signings. Well, in the rest of the world winter, that's when you're doing your mid-season freshening up and pulling in new guys where you had injuries and stuff like that.
Right.
So the two clubs have very different goals. One of these teams is getting ready for the start of a season. The other one's trying to get through it. So you have European teams that, hey, we might give up this striker in the summer after the season when we have time to find a new guy. But I don't want to change my strike partnership in fucking January.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just about the clubs. I think it's the players' perspective as well.
Right, too. I'm halfway through a season.
Yeah. But also, it's not even just that part. The windows actually aren't actually aligned.
Right. And that's a big issue, too.
So
it gives you even less time than you usually would have.
Right. Windows close before these other ones. But the international breaks also.
Yes. And that...
The MLS doesn't give a shit about them at all.
That's probably the second biggest pro. And I will say, from an MLS perspective, you didn't used to have so many international players. So it didn't used to really matter.
Correct.
Now it does. But at the time, when they were setting this calendar up, it wasn't a big deal. Here's the other thing that the MLS does have to think about. And if you're already a soccer fan, this doesn't affect you because you're going to watch the MLS whenever it is. But from an MLS perspective, they are still trying to grow the league and all. Competing with football and basketball and all these other fall through the kind of early winter sports, I think is going to be tough. I think if they're going to move to this, they're going to have to get rid of the Apple TV contract. They're going to have to really be heavy on Saturday games because they don't compete with the NFL on Saturdays until the end of the season. Like, it's going to be a big deal. They've never had to compete. Right now, really all they compete with is opening day, and even that's, I mean, baseball is, 2 months into the MLS season? We're already at week 8 here. Baseball just started. So, they kind of, the MLS has an advantage in getting viewers in the fact that there's really no other sports going on.
So, these are all the reasons why they probably laid out the season the way they did long ago.
Right.
But, this is, my butt's not yet.
Okay.
This is also the argument that I continue to hear.
Okay.
And I think people are wrong.
Okay.
Here's why. Yes, you included. They're already competing with the NFL, and they're competing with the NFL during their playoff push and the MLS Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
That's the worst time to be competing with them.
That's a great point. Is you don't finish the season before football starts anyway.
I have a lot of great points.
But here,
let me say this. It's better And it's not just the NFL; it's college football too, because college football is more popular in this country than soccer is,
Yes.
and specifically MLS soccer.
Yeah, for sure.
The MLS would actually start before the NFL season started, so you get your opening days, and people can be excited,
Right.
and you're still in preseason in the NFL.
Yeah.
Now the NFL takes over, and you know what it's like baseball. Opening day, so excited, and then comes May and June, and we don't really care until the All-Star break because it's
Yeah.
a long season. So you know what? We don't care anyway. Now let the NFL come in. College football comes in. Then they're done. Now we're getting into the second half of our season. We've passed the second transfer window. Teams are gearing up for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now it's the playoff push. We're competing with baseball, which is a regional sport in the United States.
For
People
sure.
don't care as a whole about Major League Baseball anymore.
No,
they care about their team.
The majority
and
of people, once their team is out or
They're done.
They just don't watch them.
And even still, even through the season, they only watch their team.
I don't know why I'm explaining that like we have a ton of international viewers, by the way. But
so that I don't think baseball is a huge hurdle to overcome.
No, I think
so. You have NHL playoffs and NBA playoffs.
Can I just say, if soccer doesn't pass baseball in the next 10 years, soccer has failed in this country.
I don't know. It's still fifth.
Yeah. But all the projections of soccer's taking over and baseball's on its way out. Like I've heard
so that has been
since
things. I was born in 1977.
Yeah.
And the year I was born, people were saying that. That's when Pele and Beckenbauer and other guys were coming to the U.S. to play in the North American NASL.
Yep.
With the Cosmos.
Yeah. The Atlanta Chiefs. There's some other big teams
I
there.
will be 50 in a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And that still hasn't happened. It
Yeah.
still hasn't taken over as the most popular sport. It won't. It's going to be very difficult.
I don't think it'll
jump
ever
over football.
I don't think it'll ever be the most popular, but I do think it should pass baseball.
And it could pass hockey. The hockey, I don't. It's so funny.
I would argue it has passed.
Hockey. It definitely hasn't.
In the South, it has.
Well,
in places where people play hockey, maybe not.
Yeah,
but that's a pretty small portion of the country.
The NHL, just like the MLS, in my opinion, is terrible at marketing.
Mm-hmm.
The
Very
NBA,
esoteric, the NHL.
The NBA is an awful league.
Yeah.
The NBA game is dog shit.
Yeah. No, women's college basketball is actually far more interesting to me.
It's dunking and threes. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But the NBA is very good at marketing.
Yes.
And they find a way to get people excited about it. Even though the product is terrible, especially throughout the season when nobody plays defense.
Yeah, no one really cares.
And everybody who likes the NBA complains about that. That's how bad it is. The real fans complain about how bad the league is during the regular season.
Yeah.
And yet, it's still the second most popular league. Because it's all about marketing. Yeah. And the MLS is terrible at marketing, just like the NHL is.
I agree. Well, and I also think a lot of Americans, they don't... So, and I've learned this, actually, shout out to Debbie, who's never going to watch this, but shout out to Debbie. She is the receptionist at my job, and I explain soccer to her constantly, because every Saturday I have to work, and I put on the MLS games, and I just make her watch. But she asks a lot of questions, and they're questions that someone who's never watched soccer would ask. So there is a lot of, like, why is that a foul? Why is he rolling on the ground? It's been 3 minutes. Could he possibly actually be hurt? Those kinds of things. But one question she did ask, and I think is really important to overcome in the United States, if soccer is going to be a big deal. She said, so do you watch American soccer, or do you just watch England? Like, do you even care about the American League? Because Americans think the MLS is bullshit. If they don't watch, if they don't know the players, like, yeah, we have Messi now, and there's been a lot of changes, but the widespread feeling amongst people that don't watch the MLS already is the MLS is not worth your time when the Premier League's on. And I think
And La Liga.
Yeah, but I also
And the Bundesliga.
La Liga I don't know as much because it's Real Madrid and Barcelona. That's what you're watching with La Liga. I don't know any Valencia fans.
That league has so much more
Absolutely,
clout.
But I don't know
and fans around the world.
We like Atletico Madrid. Outside of us, I don't know a single Atletico Madrid fan, and that's the clear third best team in that country. I mean, there's not a lot of La Liga.
I don't even know anymore. I don't really watch. I don't watch La Liga games. I will watch those teams play in the Champions League.
Right.
But I don't actually watch any La Liga regular season games. Occasionally, I'll watch El Clasico.
Right.
Occasionally. But I don't even watch that every time. Because sometimes it's on a streaming service.
Right.
And I'm not going to pay for that one.
Yeah, well, and I have Paramount, so I can watch Serie A and all those leagues. But I do think this is a big thing that the MLS is going to have to overcome is for the same reason I don't watch women's college basketball is the same reason.
Since Caitlin Clark left.
Right. I knew who Caitlin Clark was. I saw her face constantly. I couldn't get away from this bitch. To be honest, I was tired of her. And I didn't have a choice. Caitlin Clark was just shoved down my throat. And then, when it was time for the Indiana Fever to play, who I've never heard of, I was honestly like, well, let's see how Caitlin Clark does. I watched Indiana Fever.
Oh, I didn't. Actually, so their attendance is so much higher, like 4 times higher than any other team in the league.
Yeah.
But I would never watch that game. I don't care.
I watched Fever games.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Specifically.
I did not have the fever.
No. Well, and by the way, I'm not going to watch next season. I'm done. But the point is, knowing the player made me interested in the sport.
That's what the NBA does. They market their players and not their teams. And Major League Baseball does the opposite.
Now it's harder in soccer and it's harder in baseball too, right? You can't market a pitcher because he plays every fucking 4 games.
But you can market Aaron Judge.
Sure, you can market your hitters.
I mean, Juan Soto.
That's what you do.
And Pete Alonso.
Right, and those guys I feel are marketed to a degree. But what the MLS needs to do is fuck all these montages. Give me a commercial that is literally just Diego Luna.
No. Give me a commercial that is not Lionel Messi.
But literally, spread it out.
No. There's no way that he shops at Lowe's, that he drinks Michelob Ultras. I can't even a little.
You don't think? Michelob?
No, I don't.
What's he drinking instead, though?
So during the season, I don't think he drinks.
Probably not.
He's
especially
older.
At his age. I don't think he can.
You can't. But out of season,
probably just a nice wine, huh?
Oh, I bet he's
Argentinian.
I bet he's highfalutin
down there. A Malbec or
something. I bet there are beers from Spain that he would drink.
An Estrella.
Yes.
He would like an Estrella,
yes.
probably.
By
the way, I will say this.
Those are good.
I love an Estrella. I really do.
Yeah.
But what I want to see from the MLS, if we're going to try and compete with football, if we're going to do all this, you got to make stars. And it can't be stars you've imported on the back half of their career from fucking Europe. It can't be we've signed Thomas Muller at 38 years old and he's going to save the Chicago Fire. It needs to be, this is the homegrown guy.
Diego Luna.
Yeah.
Jack McGlynn.
I think Quinn Sullivan. Why Quinn Sullivan isn't on billboards all across
By the way, now that Gazdag, and we haven't gotten to this yet.
Yeah.
Quinn Sullivan.
That's probably a good segue because we're talking
Quinn Sullivan's stock just went up. I do want to say one more thing before the segue and the switch. How about the Houston Dynamo and Austin not having games in outdoor stadiums in the summer now with this new calendar? Wouldn't that be fantastic?
I do agree with that.
That would be fantastic.
I will say this. It's been a much bigger thing since COVID. I think the Qatar World Cup is also part of it. I'm tired of the hydration break.
Yeah, it's silly.
No more. I'm done. I don't care if you're thirsty. I don't.
If you play soccer in Houston, Texas, in August, if you don't want to die, you probably need
Yeah, but I don't. You should have signed in New England. I'm tired.
By
of
the way,
fucking...
so I will say, kids I coach, I throw the water bottle out onto the field. They drink it and they throw it off the field.
No, a youth hydration
completely. No, but I'm saying there's no hydration break.
Yeah.
You can do that at any level of soccer.
Right.
I can throw you a water bottle, you can drink it, you can throw it back off the field.
Yeah, no, and by the way,
So
anytime someone pretends to be hurt so they can regain their breath, you get to bring water bottles.
Yeah, everybody, and the whole,
players.
and for both teams, even though only the one team's guy is bringing it out.
Yeah. No, well, and they'll take the other team's bottles, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
So,
we don't need a fucking 5-minute break halfway through each half. Honestly, at this point, just make the game quarters if this is what you're going to do. Because it's getting silly. I'm so tired of it. I can't handle... I mean, even in Charlotte, they took a hydration break in Charlotte.
Yeah, I know.
I know people that were literally building a house in Charlotte at the time that game was happening.
By the way, also, have grass fields, and it won't be 15 degrees hotter.
The same way. No, but I know construction workers who did not get a hydration break.
Yeah, I know.
While the fucking Charlotte game was taking a break.
I will also say those construction workers have never ran that many miles in that amount of time.
No, they have not.
No, they haven't. The last thing...
Also, their hydration break, they drank beer, so it wasn't...
It's a light beer. The last thing, by the way, the CCC...
Yeah.
Wouldn't be at the beginning of the season, which is the most
like
awful thing ever.
Yeah.
So, we've gone long on this, but it is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge for the MLS.
This could change.
So that is why I think it warranted this amount of time.
Every facet of trades, organizing your squad.
Oh, yeah.
When you're making these big moves, all that stuff.
The fans, when they're going to games, when they're watching games.
Right.
But we can move on to Gazdag now.
Yes. So
transition.
Daniel Gazdag.
Transition time.
By the way, for those of you at home that want to get into broadcasting, anytime you make a transition,
say it.
The best thing you can do is call it out a lot of times. You want to go, we're transitioning now. Everybody get ready. It's time for a transition. Daniel Gazdag to the Columbus Crew. Now, this is not
official.
Not official, not finalized. It's being reported as a trade. It appears as though they're trading him for...
It's not even a trade.
They're trading him for money.
It's a sale.
They're trading him for.
Yeah.
I actually also, in my appliance sales jobs, I do a lot of trades where I trade appliances for dollars. And they're doing that here. I gotta be honest with you.
Transition.
So, from the two sides to every coin, right? What is Columbus Crew adding here, and also what is Philly losing here? So, just to give you some of his numbers, because I do think this is important. Gazdag is a player that's very up and down, so it's not always easy to think about it. But this season, Daniel Gazdag has started all 6 matches for the Union, scoring 2 goals in 498 minutes of play. Last year, he recorded 17 goals and 2 assists in 2,500 minutes across 30 games.
He only had 2 assists?
Yes.
Wow, I would have thought he was more of an assist guy than a goal scorer.
Now, I will tell you this, he had a fuckload of key passes, and that's not in the article that I'm directly paraphrasing from right now.
Because they don't care about fantasy stats.
Right.
And that's a fantasy
Now, the key passes were a big deal. But this is big for Philly. You are losing a really productive player. 17 goals in 30 games is ridiculous. I mean, that's for a midfielder especially. He's not a striker. That's not his main job.
Quinn Sullivan's really good.
He is.
And he's been held back.
And
sharing.
I agree. And so this is the argument from Philly. And I like it. I have no negative opinions on this. The idea that getting Gazdag out of the way gives Quinn Sullivan the room to grow, I'm on board with that. The Crew, adding Gazdag, I will be honest with you, I don't know if that's what they're missing.
Who is their playmaking 10?
It's supposed to be Rossi. No, it's not.
He plays up top.
No, he plays. I mean, Russell Rowe plays up top. He plays.
So does he. It's the 2 of them.
No, he plays on the right side of a 3-1. That's how I've seen it on paper every time. Now, whether
No,
that's
on
what they do
paper.
in the
So
game,
during the game, I don't know, but on paper, it looks like a 4-4-2.
I'm gonna have to.
No, I'm sorry, a 3-5-2, and AZ is the middle of the 5.
Right.
And then it's Rossi and Russell Rowe up top.
I don't even know how to find.
That's how they lay it out.
I will
in
have
the
to check.
lineups.
So what I always saw in the MLS app was a 3-man line behind Russell Rowe with Rossi on the right end of it. Now I don't know which way they play, to be honest with you.
That's not how I've seen it in the lineup.
I don't know how to check it either. So.
And in run of play, even if they had,
they don't stay like that.
Even if they followed that lineup as this is actually how we're going out there, things change in run of play.
For sure. Now, regardless of how he's lined up, I do believe that Rossi's job was to be. I mean, he's literally number 10 on the team.
Because Cucho was number 9.
Sure.
He didn't change his number when Cucho left.
But Cucho left, and you replaced him with Russell Rowe. To me, that's what needs addressing. You had...
No, I think it could be Rossi and Russell Rowe replacing him.
Right.
And then...
have them play as a 2 in front of Gazdag.
is the true 10.
I'm willing to hear that argument. I mean, we'll have to see how this plays out. One, the trade's not even finalized yet. Let's keep that in mind. Things do fall through. I gotta be honest with you, with the amount I'm hearing about this one, I gotta think we're pretty close to signing.
I feel like it's close to a done deal.
But let's not all get too excited. Now, points to
I'm
take away.
I'm not excited at all.
Right. Points to take away from this, though. Like you said, Quinn Sullivan's fantasy value just shot through the roof.
Yes.
That's huge. He doesn't have Gazdag to compete with now. The points are his and his alone if Philly does well.
Kind of makes you wonder why they got rid of Jack McGlynn, though.
Yeah. No, for
if
sure.
If they were going to eventually get rid of Gazdag, how'd you like to have McGlynn and Quinn
Yeah,
Sullivan?
No, that's a really good young
that'd
group.
be.
Now, what I also think on the Columbus side is I probably wouldn't pick Gazdag for a couple weeks.
Oh, God, no.
I think he's going to need time to fit in, and honestly...
I wouldn't take anyone from Columbus.
I'd stay away from...
That's not defensive.
I would stay away from anyone that isn't Russell Rowe. And even Russell Rowe, I'm only taking in prime matchups.
Steven Moreira.
Sure. Hey, if it's a great defensive matchup, take them.
Schulte.
Right.
That's where I live.
I agree. If it's a good defensive matchup, take the Crew. They're going to do well back there, and Gazdag doesn't affect that. Okay. But I think Russell Rowe attacking with Gazdag and Rossi behind him. Here's the other thing. Gazdag's 29. Rossi's, what did we say?
He's younger than that, I think.
28?
Yeah. This came up.
Russell Rowe
both thought he was older.
Yeah, Russell Rowe's younger than both of them, though.
Oh, yeah, he came up from MLS Next. He's
like
young.
Russell Rowe to take the hard, aggressive run for Gazdag and Rossi to just try and drop dimes to him.
Yeah.
I think that is...
And he's big.
Yeah. I think that's going to have to be the Columbus Crew look if they want to go this route. I mean, Gazdag had 17 goals in 30 games last season. He really hasn't been that guy yet. I mean, he's got 2 goals in 6 games. I don't want to act like it's nothing.
So Rossi, that you said, is their current 10?
Yeah.
How many goals does he have on the season?
I could find that out.
I already have it. I'm asking what you think.
2.
4.
4 is better than Gazdag.
That's how many goals he has. How many assists do you think he has?
Also 2.
0.
No assists.
No assists.
Wow.
So he's a 10 that has 4 goals and no assists.
Fair enough. I'm telling you, dude, the next fucking week, and by the way, go to our Instagram because I will be posting it, circling it, highlighting it, all the things. That motherfucker plays right mid.
He does.
I'm positive. I'm so positive. It's crazy how positive I am.
I'm positive you're wrong.
Anyway. But yeah, Gazdag's leaving. If you're not a Philly fan or a Columbus fan, this was probably a waste of fucking time.
I don't think so, because if you are into gambling or if you're into fantasy, then I think it's a very big deal.
It's important for fantasy.
I actually texted, you weren't the only person I texted today. I texted Matt, I texted Travis.
Yeah.
I texted Landon, who didn't respond, by the way.
He never responds to anything. Shout out to Landon. Landon, if you're alive, drop a comment so I know. Because I haven't gotten a text back.
Matt and Travis were like, oh, and I texted Mike.
Yeah.
Fellow, well, he's still a season ticket holder. We're not anymore.
Yeah. Who's not in the league anymore.
No, and he left our league too.
R.I.P. Mike.
Son of a bitch. But they all thought that was quite big news.
Yeah. No, it's a big deal.
And none of them are Columbus or Philly fans. They're all Charlotte fans.
Now, I will say
Landon's
this.
an Atlanta fan.
Right. It's big for fantasy. It's also
I think it's big for betting.
Interesting.
I think it is interesting. If you follow the league,
yeah,
it is interesting.
And Columbus is a team that we talked about in their transfer window. We were like, what the fuck is the plan here?
What's going on?
So this is good to see. We figured there had to be a signing coming, so here it is.
Regardless, Wilfred Nancy thinks he's going to win every game anyway.
Right, and by the way, he's never going to put Daniel Gazdag on the field. He's going to sign him and put him on the practice squad. Let's go through last week's games. I don't have a ton to say about all these, and we just spent a lot of time talking.
I have some. Some I didn't care about at all.
So, the first one I had written down was Charlotte-Nashville. Really, the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I've never seen a game where the winning team deserved it so little.
Really, though. And I talked to Charlotte fans who are like, oh, great win. And I was like, that was not a great win.
Now, I'll say this. From a Charlotte fan perspective, I like that they can win the ugly game. That's a big deal. You hear that in every sport, not just soccer.
They can win the game where the best defender on the opposing team is knocked out of the game literally in the 71st minute.
Yeah, well, and here's the other thing. Everyone was like, oh, Kerwin, he feels so bad. If I was Kerwin Vargas, I didn't mean to knock Walker Zimmerman out. But I gotta be honest with you, I don't care at all. I don't feel bad in any way.
So, I think pros are different because it's their job. They're not,
sure,
I play a sport, I want to win at all costs. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't. They cash a paycheck. Now, some of them care about winning. Many of them maybe care about winning.
Yeah.
But it is not why they play. They play for a paycheck.
Right.
Okay. When I play whatever sport, if you are wearing the opposite jersey, you are my enemy.
Yes.
That's not the case in most sports, especially today. It had been. But today, no. They go out and they drink beers after.
Right.
Or have juices. But that's... Part of that is time. Pros, I think, used to be like that. But then part of it is it's not our job, so you're the enemy. If I was Lawrence Taylor and did that to Joe Theismann, you know what I'm talking about, right? Immediately, he was like, oh, come out.
Yeah.
I would have been flexing over him. Joe Theismann is a horrible person.
Right.
And his leg breaking like that, it's fine. That's fine. We have a better chance of winning now.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do. I didn't mean to do it, but I'm not upset it happened.
Nope. Now I do... It's nice that Vargas has feelings, that he's a person at all.
Yeah.
But what he did wasn't intentional anyway. It happened. It would have been actually potentially a great goal if Zimmerman's face didn't get in the way.
Yeah, well, and here's the other thing, and no one wanted to say this, but I felt it almost get said watching the MLS coverage, both in the game when it was happening and in the recap after. When someone goes for a scissor kick, if you put your head in there and you get kicked in the face, I don't feel bad for you. I really don't. You went for a header when a guy
It was not smart.
I mean, Kerwin Vargas started the jump and lean back way fucking early.
Yeah.
Zimmerman knew that was coming. His plan...
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. He's a very experienced player.
His plan was to hit the ball first and whatever. Sure. And I gotta say this, too. A lot of respect to Zimmerman for just going in there.
I agree.
I like Walker Zimmerman.
I agree. So do I.
Of that play.
And the Charlotte fans applauded him when he came off.
And I like that, too.
So did I, because, by the way, perennial U.S. men's national team player.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard anyone say anything bad about Walker Zimmerman?
No.
Not once in my life.
The only people who've spoken poorly of Walker Zimmerman are us.
Yeah, and that's just because we're mad because he didn't perform when we
Right.
had him on our fantasy teams. But in all honesty, he's a real pro.
Yeah.
Plays the way you're supposed to play.
And I have zero personal
He's tough.
problems with him.
Clearly, he showed he's tough by putting his face in there.
Yeah.
So the whole situation did suck.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see that happen.
I'm not happy.
And I was
Walker
very
Zimmerman
happy
got
to see the Charlotte fans applaud him coming off. He deserved that. And he did, by the way, get out of the hospital that night, which is good.
Right.
He's day-to-day. He's in concussion protocol. I would be surprised if he played this weekend.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he should.
I wasn't betting defenses anyway.
But actually, if he played and if this was all normal, I actually love Nashville defense this weekend. But without him, I do not. But did you see the kick?
I did.
It looked like an MMA knockout.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
No, I mean, it was square to the face. His head snapped back, and he was out.
Yeah.
Before he fell.
So, if you watch the game...
Woo! And they would not show the replay.
Yeah, if you watch the game live, you might have seen they only showed a replay from about 45 feet away.
Yeah.
They would not show a close-up, and I know they have that video.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't. Just like they don't show the Lawrence Taylor, Joe Theismann, and that was way worse, by the way.
Well, and
that was a compound fracture.
Not for anything. Do you remember the compound fracture in March Madness in 2012 that they couldn't stop showing?
Yeah, it's weird. They don't. What's popular now?
All right, moving on.
I'm not done with that game though. I do want to say a few things.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm still unimpressed with Zaha.
Sure.
And he was celebrating and like Brazil Jesus, and everybody loved it when he did the foul in the box. It was a foul.
Yeah.
He was never going to score a goal from there.
No, I agree.
It was literally, I'm trying to get a PK.
Yep.
And then he hit a PK. My 10-year-old girls that I coach hit PKs regularly. I have a girl that knocks it bar down every time. It's unsavable.
Yeah.
Why am I cheering a professional for that?
Yeah.
Zaha's done nothing for me this season.
Yeah.
And none of that happened with Walker Zimmerman on the field. They couldn't do anything in 71 minutes.
Right.
Toklamati's goal was really nice.
Yeah, that was a great goal.
It was great.
And by the way,
he's so much more of a soccer player than Ajman.
As much as we talk all this shit about Pep Biel,
that was a great ball. But it's so funny because I was telling my wife and daughter earlier. I can hit that pass on command every time, and I can do it with the inside of my foot or the outside of my foot.
I don't know if I can do it
whichever way you want it to bend.
I don't know about
and it will check
command,
up every time.
But
no,
I
can do it every time.
I can do it pretty close to every time. Probably.
Yep.
And by the way,
it was a great pass. It was very pretty, but it's not that hard.
No, and especially at the professional level. I mean, that's just something you got to be able to do. Toklamati goal was awesome. I really like him. I think he's...
Yeah, no, he's a real player, and I think...
I hope they can keep him for a long time.
Well, and everyone says they're going to sell Ajimong, and that's fine, because...
Yeah, Toklamati steps in.
Oh, he's great. Have you looked at the back of his jersey?
Yeah.
What's with the spacing? It looks like 3 different words.
It's a little odd, and I don't know why that is. It could.
They need a new kit man, I think.
Could be an Israeli thing. I don't know.
I don't think it is. When I see his name in print, it's 1 word.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know what's happening. I'm staying out of it.
Yeah. But Charlotte won 2-1. Didn't deserve the win, in my opinion.
No, absolutely deserved a loss.
Yeah, no, they were not the better team that day.
By the way, we've done, and I'm not exaggerating here, maybe 30 minutes. We do need to speed it up.
Yeah, let's go.
All right,
I'm ready.
RSL Galaxy had this one written down. Diego Luna with a brace. The only reason I wrote this one down, Diego Luna had a lot of U.S. men's national team scouts there. He performed, looked great. And I also wanted to bring this game up because what the fuck are the LA Galaxy doing? Again.
So my notes here, the LA Galaxy should play in a YMCA soccer league.
By the way, under that is Ricky Bouge is apparently the greatest soccer player of all time.
No shit, though.
No, they can't do anything without him. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
The LA Galaxy are a minor league team at best without Cucho.
So bad.
By the way, I would like to remind you, this team has Maya Yoshida, Mickey Yamane, Marco Royce. Marco
Painter.
fucking Royce.
Marco Royce is so overrated.
Paint Soul, not Painter, but
Yeah,
he's
Paint Soul.
there. This team shouldn't be losing games.
No.
This is crazy.
No, McCarthy, and he's looked like shit lately.
Yeah.
He let up that goal that went through his hands.
Yeah. Hey, listen, shout out to Luna. He looked great. I love Diego Luna. He's a fucking dog. He plays hard.
No, he is, and that's what I think. That's what I think is bad. Is that I think more people. Well, I did. I took out of it. Not Luna's great. Galaxy are so bad.
Right.
But I do think Luna's great.
Yeah.
But the Galaxy are 0-5-2 this year.
They're fucking unbelievably bad.
One of 3 teams in the history of the MLS that are defending champs and have 0 wins in their first 7 games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The other 2 teams. The 2009 Crew and the 2003 LA Galaxy. But both of those teams did make the playoffs.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing.
So,
they take
once Ricky Pooch comes back, I'm on board.
Well, and also more than half the teams make the playoffs, right?
No.
If you're
more than they did then.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're in a shitty spot after 7 games, it is really not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's like the NBA.
But
everybody makes the playoffs. Losing record, you're in the playoffs.
What it means is we gotta start figuring this out. Cincy Revolution, I did have this one on just because they got it.
I just have the score.
They got it done without Evander, and that's why this was important to me.
Awful.
Now the game sucked, but
so boring.
They got it done without Evander. So that's the only reason I had it written.
Against New England.
Sure. Atlanta Dallas. The only reason I wrote that game down is because I was shocked this was a 1-1 game.
Okay, so I have here, this is a game that had the potential for a barn burner, but was kind of weak.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
I put this game on ready for Almiron, Ladeloth, Musa, Acosta.
So Musa's goal was nice.
It was.
And great pass from Acosta, and Musa's first attempt was blocked, and then he had the second one that he roofed.
Right.
So then Acosta didn't get the assist, but he really deserved it.
Yeah, no,
because without that pass, none of that shit happened. Almiron.
Not a game I was expecting.
No, Almiron. 2 goals in 2 games. He's back. He was a PK.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that anybody can score a PK. So I'm not saying Almiron's not back. I'm not saying he's not great. I'm just saying let's slow down.
Yep.
I haven't seen it yet. I want him to succeed. I like Almiron. I like Atlanta. I've said that before.
Yeah.
But he hasn't shown me anything.
No, I agree. And we'll see. I mean, I'm not done with Almiron yet. I think he's getting back. I think this is the best form I've seen him in since he got back. But
I'd like to see more goals in run and play.
Yeah. I'm going to piss my pants. Do you mind if we take a quick break?
No.
All right. We'll be back. And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. By the way, we've done about 45 minutes on the review.
It's quality information.
It is quality information. There was a lot to cover.
Some people have a long drive to work.
They do. And I got to be honest with you, I do apologize for the pee break. I never want to take a break during a show. From now on, I will be wearing a NASCAR suit while we record so that I can pee on air. What is
Wallowitz's? Is it the Stadium Pal?
It is the Stadium Pal. I believe there's a catheter involved in that.
Oh, was it? I thought it.
I
guess I have it. All I thought about was the pouch on his leg.
Funnel. I thought there was a catheter bit.
Either way, it's not pleasant.
No, you shouldn't do that. Anyway, we're back.
What game did you want to go to next?
San Jose. I don't really care that much about this game. I mean, it was a 6-1 San Jose win over.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely it's definitely a game worth talking.
Yeah, I won what made me happy.
Hat-trick.
There. Yeah, Josef hat-trick. I've not seen a lot out of him. It was really cool to see.
But he doesn't play every game.
It was also really cool to see Bruce Arena come back after kind of a shitty last week. Come back hard, get a win again.
It's still a roster that should win a lot.
Yeah, no, and
there's so many goal scorers.
When you look on paper, this San Jose team should be dismantling teams. They're just not yet. So maybe this is a step in the right direction.
But so Josef also, he had tied Bradley Wright Phillips.
Yep.
Now he has passed him.
Yeah.
That first of the 3 goals, he passed him. He is 6th all-time by himself
Right.
in MLS goals. Bradley Wright Phillips is 7th.
Yeah.
And he's gonna. I feel like it's Wondolowski next. I'm not 100% positive of that.
No, Wondolowski.
I should have done my homework.
Because I believe it's Wondolowski.
I thought he was at the top.
Wondolowski won
with
Kai Kamara.
Kai Kamara. Yeah.
And we talked about this last season. If you never saw it, though, fun story. Those two were Division II rivals.
Yeah,
college.
that's cool. There's another W guy that played for the U.S. men's national team.
I can tell you right now.
I can picture his face. I mean, he's as generic as a white guy as you've ever seen in your life. That's who is 5th. And it's only like 10 goals difference.
Let's see.
You just pulling up the
all-time top goal scorers, as according to Transfer Market, who I do usually trust. Wondolowski 1, Kai Kamara 2, Landon Donovan 3, Jeff Cunningham 4, Jamie Moreno 5.
That is not who I was thinking.
Josef Martinez 6, Bradley Wright Phillips 7.
I mean, a lot of those look right, but that is not who I was thinking of.
Yeah, I don't.
How many does Moreno have?
133 goals.
God, that's the right number. I guess I was just wrong on the guy I was thinking about.
I think you honestly, I don't know who you were thinking of. By the way, and this isn't even something I was going to talk about. Do you know who's way farther down this list than I thought they would have been?
Who?
Robbie Keane, 20th.
Because he played a lot of his career before he came to the MLS.
Yeah. No, well, and they show games played. Wondolowski played 400 games. Kai Kamara played 442.
Right.
Kai Kamara's played at 11 clubs. Wondolowski only 2 clubs. But the majority of these players have played.
It was Eric Winalda that I was thinking of. Where is he on the list? I told you he's a W.
Winalda,
generic white guy. God, he's not even top 25?
No, dude. Josh Wolf is ahead of Eric Winalda somehow.
Wow. All right. Well, I don't know why I thought that.
I mean, Winalda may as well not exist as far as the MLS all-time scorers are concerned. Clint Dempsey, 38 all-time. He should be higher, huh?
Yeah, you would think.
72 goals, that's it? Only 186 caps, though.
Well, that's why. And that's the thing. When guys play elsewhere, it's like the guy who has the most home runs in the history of AAA baseball.
Yeah. Number 46, Sebastian Giovinco. Do you remember Sebastian Giovinco?
I do.
I loved Sebastian Giovinco.
That's funny.
That was back when I liked Toronto.
Yeah, I know.
When they had Josie Altidore.
How hateable are they now, though?
Yeah. All right. San Diego beat the Sounders 3-0. I don't really give a shit, but it's a big win for San Diego.
Who is... They're the real deal.
They're becoming a problem.
So, hold on. I have... First, Seattle.
Yeah.
They're so bad on the road this season. They're a disaster.
No, it's crazy.
But San Diego, they've beaten all 4 Western Conference top finishers from last season. So the top 4 teams that finished last season in the West, they beat all 4 of them already.
Yeah. No, it was not an easy schedule for San Diego on paper.
Those teams are currently 9, 10, 12, and 15 this season.
Right.
Out of 15.
Yep.
So, grain of salt. But still.
Yeah. Well,
maybe that's part of the reason, because they had to play San Diego.
I'll say this, San Diego, they're not intimidated. They're coming out really confident every game. They have a pretty definitive style. I know what I can expect out of them. They have a clear goal. I think this is a team that is going to be really hard to beat. Chucky Lozano's back now.
You're right. They were doing this without him, and now he's back.
Yeah, no, and he looks good. I mean, he came back and scored a goal.
Yeah.
They're not going to slow down.
Yeah.
I think San Diego's really going to be a problem. They're becoming a team to beat in the West.
Yeah, no, they're the real deal. What's your next one?
Philly Orlando 0-0 draw.
Boo!
Shocking for a 0-0 draw.
I had every attacking player in this game.
Yeah. And honestly, betting wise, I believe I told you all to bet the over. I'm sorry about that.
I mean, if you had the under at a half a goal, it probably paid 10,000 to 1.
I bet the real number was 400. Plus 400. I bet that's the actual number. I don't know that.
No, if you said less than a half a goal.
Yeah, I don't.
You know that sliding shit.
I don't think they would have gone to 1,000. But it could have been plus 800. I don't know.
0-0, the two highest scoring teams in the league.
It would have been crazy.
Terrible.
Portland Austin also 0-0. Don't really give a shit.
Don't even care a little.
LAFC lost to Houston. I literally didn't even write the score because the only reason, which I believe
1-0.
was 1-0. The only reason this was important to me is what the fuck is going on in LA. I know I say that every week, but oh my god.
So they
Houston?
are much worse on the road. They're 2-1 at home. They're 1-3 on the road. Houston is better than people think. Their record does not reflect it, but Jack McGlynn is a really good player, and
yes,
he's now getting to show that after he's left Philly. He didn't have a spot. He'd play every now and again, and he's got a role. He's in the system, and he is contributing. When we get into the fantasy stuff, his numbers are pretty ridiculous, actually.
Yes. No, and I like Jack McGlynn.
Potential captain this week.
The problem is everyone else on this fucking roster.
I agree. But Bouanga, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So not including CCC, just the MLS regular season. 7 games. How many assists does Denny Bouanga have?
1 is my guess.
0. How many goals does Denny Bouanga have?
0.
You look at my screen. It's fucking 0.
I knew it was 0.
7 games. He has 0 goals, 0 assists.
Yeah.
I think that's a much bigger story than Houston not being the best team.
Yeah, I agree. Denny Bouanga he's in a slump. He's been in a slump. I will say this, I don't think this is forever with him. I don't know if we're ever going to get the Denny Bouanga of old. I think that's gone.
I am pessimistic that we will.
I don't think we ever will.
The glass
Denny
is
Bouanga,
half empty.
He will never be what he was, and I truly believe that. I don't think you're going to get...
I think he's that old. How's that possible? He's just done?
We can pull that up. I don't think... Well,
maybe Bogusz was a bigger influencer than we thought.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I don't think you're going to get the Denny Bouanga that you...
My guess is 28.
He's 30.
Is he? All right.
I mean, here's the thing. It's not like...
How old is Lionel Messi?
Right. But Lionel Messi, in his prime, was way better than Bouanga in his prime.
That's true. By the way, did you see the first
Lionel
person?
Messi now is better than Bouanga in his prime, if
Yes.
we're really going to get into it.
Did you see, Google makes the suggestions. You see the first person? Mateusz Bogusz.
Oh, yeah. No,
That's
and
funny.
I think Bouanga's hurting without some of those connections. I think LAFC as a whole is hurting without some of those connections. So I don't think it's Bouanga
I think
alone.
the CCC, though, screws up so many of these teams at the beginning.
Yeah, and LAFC is a team that they're always in it, and they really try to push to win it. That trophy seems to mean something to them, and it doesn't mean something to every team. There are teams that prioritize...
it does to Miami. Oh, my God.
Yeah, but there's teams that prioritize their regular league over the CCC.
Because Miami hasn't won... no, they won that stupid mid-season tournament, didn't they?
Yes.
Did Miami win that?
The
They did,
Leagues Cup.
Yeah, they won that nobody's ever heard of or cares about.
Yeah. Well, you can't just start a tournament and expect us all to care from jump.
But,
Especially
so Miami's trying so hard to just win hardware.
So
they care about this
the
CCC.
U.S. fucking Open.
Yeah, that's a joke.
That's a whole nother episode.
Sun Valley High School's in that now.
Did you see there's a Mexican restaurant that formed a team in the U.S. Open that's like beating USL teams now? It's literally like they're waiters and cooks. And
that is awesome.
Fucking people up, dude.
That's awesome. Next game.
Yeah. Minnesota 2-1 over NYCFC.
Oluwaseyi, he's so good.
He's awesome. Now,
that goal in the first minute. Well, I say the first minute. It was literally scored on the 1 minute mark.
Yeah.
So I don't. That's technically the second minute.
He made that look.
I don't
so
know where
easy.
he did. It was effortless.
Yeah. Now I will also say this: the penalty kick that got missed, that was a fucking rocket. Now he hit the crossbar, and we always say if you don't get the ball on net, that's on you. That's
Yeah, you're
whatever.
talking about Alonso Martinez.
Alonso Martinez hit that ball at, I don't even think I'm exaggerating here, 1,000 miles an hour. I've never seen a ball move that quickly in my life.
Mach 2.
Truly. That ball was hit so hard.
It was not a goal.
I don't understand why he did that. And I get,
Yeah.
like...
Because the goalie's not stopping it from 12 yards away.
I get the idea of, like, oh, you hit it really hard and get it on net, and you don't have to worry about it getting it saved. But, like, if you barely fucking touch it and it goes in the top right corner, you also don't have to worry about it getting saved. I don't understand why, as a professional soccer player, you're hitting a penalty kick as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah, I don't know either.
That's crazy.
I don't know why these guys miss it all.
No.
I also feel like
I'm going to be honest with you.
I keep going into my mic like this. I feel like the ladies from The Delicious Dish from Saturday Night Live, and I don't really know why I'm doing this. I've never done this before.
Yeah. I've taken, what do you think, 5 penalty kicks in my career?
In real games, I guess.
I've missed one, and I remember it vividly.
Yeah.
I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it, and I don't play soccer anymore.
These guys are pros. I don't get it.
You can't miss
12 yards away. It's 12 yards away.
Toronto, Miami 1-1.
Hold on, Will Trapp.
Will Trapp. Great goal.
That was a good goal. That was a terrible defensive play, and the goalkeeping.
That was crazy.
It hit his legs and shot up.
Well, and he already dove. I'm not as mad at Matt Freese as I am at everyone else.
Pick your leg up.
Yes. Freese could have done something. It shouldn't have even gotten through to him. Here's the thing. On a free kick, you just can't always expect a shot. And I know that in professional soccer, everyone shoots every free kick.
Well, that's why that shit works.
Right, but...
I know.
You're fucking professional.
Be better. I agree. Be better.
You can't decide it's going to be a shot before it gets hit.
I think Will Trapp looks like Adam Devine. I'm going to call him Bumper from now on. The rest of this season if we refer to him.
And I will, in the edit, I'll put Will Trapp is right here under me right now. Just so we can... And Adam Devine's right here.
Will Trapp on The Delicious Dish.
That was pretty much all I wrote down, even.
Oh, no, but so I do want to say this about Minnesota.
Yes.
They should be in first place in the West.
Yeah.
They keep blowing leads at the end of games.
Yeah.
They did it against LA Galaxy. They did it against someone else, and I have it. SKC. These are 2 shitty teams. Should have been wins, and they became draws.
Well, and they fully could have blown this
4 points.
This penalty.
And this one
should have gone
not only the penalty, and then they let up the goal in like the 88th or 89th minute.
Yep.
Made it 2-1. Could have made it 2-2.
No, and
They almost blew this one, too.
We'll get into it. We're going to do
They're so good, and they don't know how to win yet.
It'll be a very abridged fantasy last week thing, because we do need to move on. But I did have Minnesota defenders, and I saw that penalty get saved, and I was like, let's fucking go. I just saved 10 points in clean sheets. And then I checked in later, and it was 2-1.
Yeah.
Toronto, Miami, goals for Messi and Bernardeschi.
I hate both teams.
I mean, anytime Miami doesn't get a win, it's worth at least mentioning. I don't really give a fuck about Toronto. I don't think this is a trend.
Did you see Bernardeschi's interview after?
I did not. Did
the guy said,
ridiculous?
He said,
can you do the accent?
That was such a good goal, whatever. You know, how'd you go? And he said, it was a great goal. And then I'd like to talk about my team. But you led with yourself, dude. Like, that dude is all about himself. And he's like, oh, my team, my team, my team. Bullshit, man. I hate that dude so much. Like, and now people are like, oh, did you see that goal? Oh, he still got it. Yeah, he's probably always still had it. But he doesn't give a shit.
Right.
And so everybody tries their hardest against Messi.
Yeah.
And Suarez. And Alba.
The Miami game is a game you get up for.
Yep. They get up. And guess what? Next game, they're going to still beat Toronto. He's still going to be shitty Bernardeschi.
Yeah. Well,
I hate hearing all of this. And people praise him. Oh, look how good Bernardeschi is.
Yeah.
I am the best in the world.
Last week's fantasy. We're going to go through it quickly. My team, pretty good week, though. 76 points. I was happy with it. Definitely could have been better, but we'll take it. Celentano in the net, 8 points. Orejano on the back line, 9 points. They both held their clean sheets. So, Longuane with 2. Amundsen with 2. Longuane, I mean, again, they shouldn't have let up that goal. That was disappointing, but I'm not that mad at it. It worked out okay. Midfield, and this is where I fucked up. So, on the field, Martin Ojeda, as my captain, he ended with 8 points as the captain.
Me
so
too.
4 points total. Acosta with 3 points. Da Costa with 3 points. On my bench, Christian Espinoza and Diego Luna with 14 points each. Then, strikers, I had Arango with 9. Denke with 4, and Choupo-Moting on my bench with 7. So, really, Choupo-Moting, I should have started over Denke, and then Luna and Espinoza would have gone in. It's only a 3-point difference, but I'm starting to get to that point now where like I'm consistently in the 70s. I want to start breaking 80. I want to start breaking into 90. I think over 100-point week is just really hard this season. I got to be honest. Last season, that was kind of the metric we wanted to hit. I don't think that's a fair metric to set for yourself.
I'm
anymore.
so far off my metric.
I think if you can break 80, you really did something. 70 should be what you're aiming for. If you get
that
70,
you gotta get at least there.
70 points every week means you're doing your job.
I haven't hit it once.
Right. Trying to think if there was anything else big. Honestly, not really. I mean, that was the team. I was 1,198th on the week as far as Charlotte rankings are concerned. Let's see. So overall, I am 1,537th, which is in the top 10% finally. And then as far as Charlotte goes, I'm 39th out of 431 players.
Man, before Minnesota blew that clean sheet,
yeah, I would have been
that week
higher.
rank was like 2 for Charlotte instead of 23.
No, 23rd on
That's
the week for Charlotte fans. I was in a good spot. Now, I will also say this. I didn't have anyone in the Miami get Toronto game, so a lot of people that have Miami players did pass me anyway.
Especially Messi. And half the plays probably took Messi.
Right.
I don't look at the numbers. You can see that.
I was already done before that game happened. So I had a better rank than was really true.
Right.
But 23rd in Charlotte, I mean, I haven't done that all season. Just out of the top 1,000 for the week. If you can get in the top 1,000 for the week, you're in good shape. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It was a good week. John, get into it.
Okay. I just want to say a few things about last week still.
Okay.
And then I'll get into my team. Colorado, Vancouver. Vancouver.
Yeah.
Withoout Ryan Gold, 5-1-1. Well, it hasn't been without him the whole time, but they're 5-1-1.
Yeah.
Most of it without Ryan Gold. Just as good on the road as at home.
Yeah.
10 different goal scorers in first 7 matches. 4 other teams have done that in the history of the MLS.
That's awesome.
First year coach.
Yeah.
Jesper Sorensen. Where's he from?
I don't know.
Denmark.
Ah.
Yeah, I know. I thought you'd like that. So that game. But there were some notes that I really want to.
Yeah,
Montreal Columbus Crew. I hate the Columbus Crew now.
Yes.
Max Arston, one of the most selfish players in the league.
Yeah.
He never passes, he shoots, or he dribbles. He never releases.
Very American.
I had Columbus defense in that game. They won 2-1. They should have lost 3-2.
Yeah.
There were 3 actual goals put in the net. All 3 were reviewed. 2 were called back. 1 was allowed.
Yeah.
So, awful team. Not a fan. Sporting Kansas City's first game without Vermees won 2-0.
Yep.
Okay, people might think, oh, here they go now. They're going. Joveljic brace, he's going. No, this is the bounce back game from when the coach gets fired. And St. Louis is dog shit.
Yeah, well, we talked about that.
We did?
Last week, we said they will do well this week.
Yes.
And then it will be worse.
And I was right.
Yes.
So those are the games I wanted to hit before I got into my team this week. My team this week was so bad.
Right.
So, I had 56 points.
Eek.
Mm-hmm. I have not gotten more than 65 still this season in 7 weeks. It's bananas.
Yeah,
by the way, I'm hating the banishment of the double game week.
Yeah.
I was king of double game.
We were good at that.
Yep.
By the way, I would like to point out that despite this awful season where he hasn't broke 65,
I'm in second place.
You are
now.
tied for first. With
okay.
Me and Matt.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matt.
I did lose to Matt this week, actually. 63-56.
That's why we're tied now.
Yep. I did make $2.6 million more dollars, so I have 118.75 yet. I'd like to be higher.
Yeah.
I should be higher. I am paying more attention to that in the last few weeks. I wasn't as much in the beginning as I should. My weekly in Charlie was 161 out of 429.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not great.
Overall, 129 out of 429.
Not ideal.
Overall, for The week overall, 5,773.
Oh,
Overall total for the season, 4,812. I'm at like a third of the way up.
yeah.
That's terrible. Last season, I finished Charlotte in what, third?
I believe so, yeah.
And overall, I was in the top 500.
Yeah, no, both of us finished in the top 10 in Charlotte fans.
I suck this season, and I'm so angry.
Yeah.
My actual team. So I love Ali Ahmed. I've played him the last 2 weeks, and he has been gangbusters.
Yeah.
He makes me $500,000 every week. He gets a ton of points. I did have Columbus, I told you. Defensively, I had Schulte. Not good. I had Moreira, though, who had that assist, which was a great pass.
Yeah, it was.
Especially for a center back.
Yeah.
So he had 5. I had Alba. I hate Miami players. I don't take Miami players. I finally took one because they were playing Toronto. 2 points, Alba.
Yep.
2 points. Come on. I had Flores on the bench, who I actually wound up putting in with a DNP. 9 points. You paid Arellano prices, got 9 points. I paid Flores prices, got 9 points.
Right.
Go Cincy.
Well, that worked out really well for you.
It did. It did. It's about time. My midfield. So I had Robert Taylor. Now, I originally had Suarez, but then I needed to get a midfielder. So I went down to Oluwaseyi Price and then took Taylor.
That makes
wanted...
sense.
There's another guy on the team that I wanted. I can't remember his name, but I couldn't afford him. So I got Taylor. He had a point. He came out at the half. Nobody takes guys out at halftime like Miami. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Acosta was my captain. I thought it was Ojeda, but it was Acosta. He had 3. I got 6.
Mm-hmm.
Boo. I had Quinn Sullivan. He had 4. Same amount as Gazdag. I liked him better than Gazdag. They get the same amount. He was cheaper. I still felt like it was a win. I liked more than 4 points out of my midfielders.
Yeah.
Ojeda, also 4. I will still continue to start him. He's on a price rise every week, and this, to me, is an outlier, the 4.
Yeah.
He's generally going to get at least 7 or 8. My midfielder on the bench, because I thought he could be great, but I also don't trust him, was Forsberg. I was right in not trusting him. 2 points.
Right.
Up top, Rossi, 3 points. When Russell Rowe and AZ got his first goal,
Yeah.
they both scored. And Oluwaseyi had 8. He scored in the first minute. And then I had Baribo on the bench because I thought that game could be gangbusters, but I was a little scared, and I was right. He only got 2 points.
Yeah.
So that was my team for the week. 56 awful points. Take it away, Brian.
Moving on. So next week, I'll be honest with you. It's. I don't think it's super cut and dry, but I'm gonna list all the matchups first, and then we'll go through kind of individual games we like, just like we always do. If I can get the fucking match schedule up, here we go.
There.
So 2:30, we've got Toronto, Minnesota FC in Toronto. I'm always going to list the home team first. We've got Atlanta at 2:45 playing the New England Revolution. 4:30 kickoff. We've got Orlando hosting the New York Red Bulls. 7:30 games. We've got DC United, Cincinnati, Montreal, Charlotte, NYCFC, Philly, Vancouver, Austin. Then we move on to 8:30. We have Dallas, Seattle, Nashville, Real Salt Lake. 9:30, we have the Colorado Rapids playing San Diego FC. Moving into 10:30, LA Galaxy, Houston Dynamo, as well as LAFC, San Jose Earthquakes. So both LA teams playing at the same time, both at home. Sunday, 3 games. We've got Kansas City at 2:15 hosting the Timbers. We've got Chicago Fire at 4:30, Inter Miami. And then 7 o'clock, we've got St. Louis playing Columbus. So, teams I like, teams I don't. Defense-wise, I love the Crew playing in St. Louis. I know they're in St. Louis. I don't trust St. Louis to score a goal, and I certainly don't trust them to figure it out against the Crew. LA Galaxy home against Houston. I'm not as confident in this as the other teams I'm going to talk about. But I kind of think LA should win that game at home.
I don't.
It's been a lot of letdowns. It's Houston. This is a team they can beat. If they don't win this game, I don't know what it will take. Like, I don't know.
Jack McGlynn is probably my captain this week.
Okay.
I think he's going to light him up.
Yeah, and I can see that side too. Vancouver at home against Austin. We love Vancouver D always. Charlotte playing against Montreal. I don't know that I love Charlotte's defense in this one. I mean, Montreal's a goal scoring team.
This is Montreal's first win.
I can see that too.
They finally come home after 7 away games.
Right, and that's the part of this that scared me, right? Is
No Zaha, who I don't like anyway, but that's going to affect them. They're all going to be scared. No Zaha. My hand hurts, so I can't play soccer. I'm not really sure.
I don't think Zaha affects them on defense really at all, because I don't think he does a lot to keep the ball up in that zone anyway. The majority of his dribbles end in turnovers, so I don't know that losing Zaha hurts them for clean sheets. Now, I do think it hurts them for scoring a lot.
They're terrible on the road, though. They don't get clean sheets on the road. All their clean sheets are at home.
And as I'm willing to accept a lot of the Zaha slander, he's not playing well. I agree. And I'm all over the fucking Charlotte FC fan group. It's just a constant argument about whether or not Wilfried Zaha sucks. Zaha drawing 3 defenders on every run is creating chances for other players.
Yeah, and that's why Pep Biel's numbers are so good.
Right. Pep Biel has no
Do not take him this week.
No, this isn't the week.
You're going to look at the numbers and go, oh my God, Montreal, they're terrible. They haven't played at home yet.
I'm not taking
no Zaha
attack
to help BL.
What Zaha does is he distracts teams so that guys like Toklamati can be open and have space to work. And that's important. I don't think that's...
Yes, no, there's a value to that.
That's a big deal. But not having him, I don't think it hurts their defense. I think it hurts their attack, and I think it's what it is. I don't think Charlotte's going to go out and score a bunch of goals, but I can see them on a clean sheet here.
I could see Montreal winning 1-0.
I could totally see that, too. It's not my most confident defensive team, but it's one I like.
The numbers will tell you to take them. I just don't agree with the numbers.
Right. Offenses. I love Cincinnati against DC. Evander sat last week. I believe he's back.
I do if Evander's back.
If Evander's back, I love him.
If he's not, that team is horrible on offense.
Honestly, if Evander's back, I'm still not against Orejano. I'm still not against, who is the other defender that you took? Flores. I'm still not against Flores.
Orejano is a farce.
Yeah.
I'm all about Ahmed. I don't know about Lennon. I'm all about Wagner. I'm all about Longwani.
He did get 9 points last week.
Yeah, because of the clean sheet. Take away the clean sheet.
He had 4 points.
Okay. Well, he's not Wagner. He's not.
No, I don't think
he is. Who was the guy that since he had? Barreal. He's not Barreal.
No.
That's who he thought he was going to be.
I wouldn't say he's Barreal. What I would say is he's not a bad decision for this week.
He's not worth that money, though. He's very expensive.
No, well, and honestly, you could get Flores for cheaper and get the same clean sheet. So if you're just taking Orejano for the clean sheet, don't take Orejano.
Flores had 4 outside of the clean sheet, just like Orejano.
Right. So don't take Orejano just for the clean sheet. But I don't think we're gonna see a 0 assist season out of Orejano. I really don't. Right. Now, I also don't think we're gonna see that out of Flores. So it's just which week is which. But I don't think Orejano's like totally useless.
I need to see it first, just like Bouanga.
Fair enough. Dallas, Seattle. I like both those attacks against each other. I know I said that last week with Dallas, Atlanta. I don't see. I mean, Seattle's coming off a goalless game against San Diego,
but they're still on the road.
Yeah, but Dallas and San Diego, they're not.
No,
and
they're pretty good defensively, though.
Yeah, here's what I think is going to happen, and this is a crazy prediction to make on a camera. Dallas is going to score early. Seattle's not going to have it. They're going to get the lead. Does Dallas equalize? I don't know. That's what I'm guessing, though. I think it's Acosta or Musa comes out. They had a goal at home, start with a punch, and then Seattle turns on. That's my guess. Either way,
What if Rusnak, he came off at the half. What if he's hurt and he doesn't play in this game?
Rusnak out does change things. And this is definitely a lineup I would be checking. Do not play this game and not look. If you're not going to be able to look at this lineup, do not play players from either team. Truly. Because Rusnak is a huge deciding factor for what happens on that field. Atlanta against New England. I love Atlanta offense.
I love everything about Atlanta in that game.
Yeah.
But I feel like every time I love a team,
Right.
It's the teams I like that do better than the teams I love.
Yeah,
And it's very disappointing.
I get that. But I think Atlanta offense is what I love. Atlanta defense I like. I don't know. I could see Brad Guzan this week.
Brad Gruzon.
I could also see we got it. I mean, someone Photoshop it so I can drop it in. Um, I could see this being a Carlos Heel go off week.
Yes, Atlanta defense actually isn't that good.
Right.
Outside of Brad Guzan.
And I could see New England losing this game 3-2 or 4-2,
but
something like that.
It's the earliest game. It's in that 2:30. It's 2:45, but it's in that 2:30 window.
Yeah.
So that's the time when I can put in Lennon and Guzan, see how they do, and then I have a Keeperoo potential option. So it is a good one for that.
Exactly. Orlando going to the Red Bulls. Orlando coming off a bad week. I love Ojeda.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Red Bulls are
Red Bull on the road are terrible.
Yeah, they're just not a particularly good
Orlando
defense.
should light it up. You could think about Muriel too.
Muriel definitely I could see. I could also see Forsberg going the other way, I'll be honest. I mean, Orlando's not a clean sheet team. The Red Bulls are so bad.
Yeah, I could see Forsberg too. I'm still not taking him anymore.
No.
I'm done with taking him. He has a great week. I take him. He sucks. And the whole penalty kick shit. Him and Choupo-Moting they're just going back and forth.
Yeah, I don't love that.
That hurts. I think that's actually, from a team perspective, is good. It's harder on the keeper. But from a fantasy perspective, it sucks.
Now, Philly, I don't love all of Philly, but I kind of like Baribo just because he's kind of on a bad run right now, and I like the matchup against NYCFC. It's a tight field there. I think this game is 1-0 or 2-1. I don't think it's very high scoring. But I think Baribo's just due. And I don't think NYC is a team that... I mean, we talked about that Will Trapp goal. That was atrocious defending. That had no business.
And that was at home.
Right. So I could see Baribo on some kind of free kick type play. I could see Baribo run of play. I could even see a penalty for Baribo. Honestly, there's so many chances for him here. I would stay away from Gazdag. I think all this news in the air is probably bad for him.
Well, he's not going to play, even if he's still officially on Philly.
Probably not.
How could you play him if you're trying to get rid of him? What if he gets hurt?
Well, you could also play him to be like, look at how good he is. Why don't you track another
not when the deal's almost done.
Right. Well, and I don't know how far along they are on all this. I mean, we're not getting really...
But there's multiple articles.
Right.
So it's
probably
a real thing.
I could see Gazdag not playing. I would definitely check your lineups if you want to play him. I don't like him this week. I kind of like Quinn Sullivan this week.
If there's no Gazdag playing, I definitely like Quinn Sullivan this week.
So he's someone I would look at. Other than that, there really weren't a ton of games I was zeroed in on. There's a lot of matchups this week that I don't know what to make of them. As far as players are concerned, so as of right now, I have Tokiaka as my keeper. There's a chance that switches to Brad Guzan just for budget purposes.
There are people that have that's their keeperoo. Guzan, then Tokiaka.
Yeah, and
that's a lot of money, though.
I think that's the right move.
Guzan is very cheap, so that's nice on the front end. If he can get it, and you don't need Tokiaka, you're in great shape.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But if you need both, now that's expensive.
Back line, I'm playing a 5-3-2 with two defenders that are DNPs now. That's going to be my formation the rest of the season. Quick crash course, if you don't know how to do formations, fill up your team, then start subbing. You can sub to different formations. You don't get to choose your formation. You have to fill up the roster and then sub. It's fucking retarded. But that's how they do it.
I don't think it's... I actually like it because it gives you flexibility.
I would like to just say put them in a 5-3-2.
Set it and forget it.
Let me pick. But Kieran Sargent, Christopher Applewhite, neither of them are playing. They're both on my back line as DNPs so that they get the auto sub. Nathan Byrne.
The Autoroo,
whatever. I don't like Autoroo. Who came up with that? It
falls in line with switcheroo and keeperoo.
Right, but weren't all of those terms...
I mean, they're in MLS Fantasy. I don't know who originally...
But wasn't it that podcast?
I don't know that they actually came up with it. I know that they promote it.
Right. I think we should come up with our own words.
Okay. I'll work on that.
We'll figure it out. Next week we'll have a new word for it. But the auto sub. Kieran Sargent, Christopher Applewhite, someone will go in for them. Nathan Byrne, I don't know if he's going to stay there, but right now I feel okay with a Charlotte clean sheet, at least he's $6.4 million. He's a good value pick, too. Could have some crosses, could have an assist. He's probably not gonna, but he could.
He'll have some crosses.
Yeah.
What's the bonus? 3 or 4?
Yeah, I think you need 4 crosses.
Then he'll have 3.
Yeah. Ali Ahmed I have in right now with Sam.
That's a good call.
Adekugbe. Both of them are averaging pretty high. I don't know if those two are definitely the two I'm going with. I'm definitely going to check lineups. Also, there's a red dot next to Adekugbe right now. Sometimes that means nothing. Sometimes that means he's injured.
It's supposed to mean he's not playing, but it's not always right.
So I'm not worried about it right now. Midfield. So on the field, I have Rusnak captained. I really like Seattle against Dallas this week. I know they're on the road. I know they suck on the road. I like Rusnak this week. I think he's coming off a bad one. I think he's going to want to go out there and perform. I don't think Dallas is a team that is unbreakable for him. Evander I have as well, and then Ojeda. I will be honest, there's a chance the captain switches, but I don't think Rusnak comes out of the lineup for me. I think he's in as long as he plays.
I'm just worried that he's not playing.
Right.
And he's not currently in my lineup, only because I don't think
if he doesn't play, then there will be...
you can pull him out.
There will be some kind of last-minute decision, but that's definitely a lineup I'm checking. Like, I am keeping that in mind. I just think he's probably going to play, and I think if he does play, he's going to do well. Especially coming off a week's rest, practically. You know, I mean, he only played half the game. DaCosta and Luna on the bench right now. Real Salt Lake playing Nashville. We didn't talk about it, but I like Diego Luna in that game. I think Luna just runs that team. Everything goes through him. He's the architect. So assists or goals, if they happen, Luna's going to be involved. DaCosta, Portland's going to Kansas City. I love anyone against Kansas City, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I already told you, I thought that's a farce.
So they're definitely what I'm looking at. Strikers. So right now I have Lade Loth. I love New England coming to town. I think he's going to go off. Baribo I have in right now. Like I said, I think this is kind of he's due kind of thing. And then I have Calvin Yeboah on the bench. He may switch out. He's $10.4 million. He's just a lot of money. I do really like Minnesota playing Toronto. They're going to give up a goal. The question is it Oluwaseyi or Yeboah? And that's been really hard to predict.
It has. When they both play, it's generally Oluwaseyi. When Yeboah scored, he wasn't playing.
Right. And I think... Oluwaseyi, let's get a price on him, because he's actually less
8.4. He's in my starting lineup.
8.4. Wow, I didn't know he was that much cheaper. Honestly, between the two, if you're between them, I would go with Oluwaseyi then, just because of the price difference, and I don't think he's any less likely
and
to
his
score
last
than
3
Yeboah.
games, 8, 14, 13. So he's definitely on a price.
Well, and I'll say this, that's also sort of what scares me about him, is Yeboah's due and he's not. But it doesn't work that way in real life. You know, if Oluwaseyi is the guy making the forward run and Yeboah is taking the conservative run, then Oluwaseyi is going to get more goals. So
if you're unsure and you're going to put him on your bench because of the early game, if neither perform or if Oluwaseyi doesn't perform, he still makes you $500,000. Period.
Right.
If he has a 0, he's still going to be a price rise because his other last 2 games are 8 and 14. Yep. Even with the 0, 22 points in 3 games is going to get you $500,000.
Yeah.
So it's kind of safe.
Other attacking players I considered, Messi, they're playing Chicago. You'd be silly not to at least think about it. What worries me is it's the Sunday game, right? And it's the Sunday.
And every game is the Sunday game because MLS we got to put them on Sunday, and it messes up fantasy so much. And he's scored so much every time, and he's never been in my roster because if he's not going to play, then what do I do?
Yeah, well,
I'm so sick of the Messi conundrum.
Now, I'll say this week I feel a little better about it because you got Columbus playing
He
St. Louis
just
right
played
after.
again.
So if you don't want Messi, if you find out Messi's not going to be playing, then maybe you go to Russell Rowe or Rossi, someone like that.
St. Louis is very good at defense.
They are.
They're very bad at soccer. They're very good at defense.
I think they're better. Start the sentence over. I think that Columbus is better at offense than St. Louis is good at defense.
I don't know about that.
I don't know either.
They've not been great offensively.
That's my thought right now. I would be shocked to see them not at least score a goal in that game.
I could see that as a 0-0 goal. Two very defensive teams. 0-0 goal, 0-0 game.
Right.
That's how mad I am.
But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I mean, there's definitely still things moving around that'll be game time decisions, but for the most part, the team's set. The big movement is going to be who my captain is, and then honestly, that back line, I'll be checking lineups. Things may move there. But John, where are you at right now? Who you got?
So there's a few defensive teams I like. I like Columbus. Like I said, I think that could be a 0-0 game. For me, it's still Moreira.
Mm-hmm.
I always like Farsi, but he's expensive. So it worked out for me last week with Moreira because he got the assist, even though he didn't get the clean sheet. But I definitely like Columbus. I like Houston. What sucks about Houston is you can take defensive players. You cannot take a keeper.
Right.
Because their keeper playing right now does not play. That is Blake Gillingham, and he is not in the fantasy game. Tarbell and Maurer are. Tarbell's out for the season. Maurer's been hurt the last 2.5 weeks where Gillingham's been playing.
Right.
And so I love Houston's defense, and I can't play their goalie because he won't play. Unless Maurer's back, but I don't think he is yet.
Yeah.
If Zimmerman's back, I like Nashville D. I don't think he will be, so I don't. And I like Vancouver D.
Which, by the way, is why I like Diego Luna, because I don't think Zimmerman's
Yeah, no, I said that too. That if Zimmerman's not back, I do like Luna. I like Ali Ahmed regardless. He's a forward with the defender's name. So he still can get points, and they can always get a clean sheet. So I like them as well. Some other teams that I like, maybe not as much. I like them more for their matchup than their team. Atlanta, Dallas, Montreal, because Charlotte doesn't score on the road.
Right.
Orlando City and Portland. So
yeah,
I'm really thinking about Brooks Lennon. I feel like he's been a letdown every week. He's not the Brooks Lennon he is. I've told you what's killing me this season is probably playing the last few seasons, taking all that information, and it's all wrong now.
Yeah.
And that's where Brooks Lennon comes in. But this matchup just makes you seem like you should like him. So
yeah.
And
I agree. He's a player I thought about for sure.
Yeah. Midfield. Well, attacking. I like Atlanta a lot. Attacking. I like San Diego, Vancouver, Philly, Nashville, Minnesota, Miami, and Colorado. There's a lot of teams that have promising matchups offensively. As far as players, Almiron.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think he's proven he's back, but I really like this matchup, and he should be back.
Yeah.
I have Acosta right now. I'm so scared of that.
Yeah.
But I do.
I agree.
I have McGlynn. He might be my captain. I love him. I love this matchup. His last 3 games were like 9 points, 13 points, and 14. Or 9, 12, and 13.
Yeah.
He gets so many bonus points.
Well, he's just doing everything
Yep.
over there.
I still like Ojeda. If Evander plays, I really like Evander.
Yep.
Up top, right now I have Oluwaseyi. I like him. And he's the early game. And I should put him on the bench. But I'm a little scared with some of my other players, so they're kind of leaning to the bench. I currently have Denke, and I don't love it.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not that expensive, though. Like, I should play Messi, but he's really expensive. I have to change the whole rest of my lineup. And then if he doesn't play, and well, these other guys have already played, and now I can't put them in. And that's why this whole Messi every Sunday is bullshit.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I currently have Bouanga on my bench. I've talked so much shit about him.
Insane that you have Bouanga on your bench.
I agree.
I can't even express to you
They're
how...
home. And San Jose on the road defensively has not been good.
I would take
I know.
anyone else on LAFC to score. I would take Ryan Hollingshead to score before
I'm
Bouanga.
Some other guys, though, that I'm thinking about, Kuipers.
Yeah.
Miami's defense isn't good, and Chicago's at home. And
I can see a Kuipers goal.
Yep. I'm always thinking about Brian White, but I never pull the trigger.
Yep.
And I have Ali Ahmed, so I have the chance with him getting the points. Benteke. Benteke has one game this year that he doesn't have a goal contribution. And in that game, he still had 6 points.
Yeah.
So, I also like Lottie Loft, but I don't want to go with Almiron and Lottie Loft because if Atlanta United shit the bed, which they totally could.
Yeah, now you're really screwed.
Yes. So that's a team that I only want to take one guy. There's lots of teams you go, I'm loading up.
Yeah.
Atlanta right now this year isn't one of them.
I agree.
They should be, and they could be going forward. They still
We're not
scare
there
me
yet.
now. So that's what my lineup looks like, guys. I'm thinking about.
As far as betting goes, so biggest one, and there's a couple big ones I want to highlight. But first off, right at 2:30, Minnesota plus 140 going to Toronto. Toronto plus 180 at home. I mean, Minnesota the favorite on the road. It's really hard to be a favorite on the road in the MLS. Books very much lean towards.
But they're still getting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's plus 140.
You're still getting money. So I like Minnesota United there.
I like them a lot. And here's why that line is where it is. Because it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Toronto looked great against Miami. Everybody looks great against
Honestly,
Miami.
I think that line is what it is because they don't check.
Yep.
They don't check the lines the same way.
Every team has their best game against Miami. They care more. Bernadeschi doesn't care outside of that game. Additionally, Minnesota still hasn't put it together. They drew against the Galaxy and Sporting at the very end.
Yep.
But they're better than those games, those results.
I agree.
So I really like Minnesota, and if you want to give me a plus, I'm all over it.
Yeah. Atlanta I like, but they're minus 190. I don't like them at that.
No, because I could totally see that being a draw.
Yeah.
They will not lose that game, but that could be a draw. So that's a lot.
Charlotte plus 180 on the road playing Montreal. Montreal plus 135 at home. I mean, if you like Charlotte at all, plus 180 makes you like them
180
more.
is nice. That they could lose that game.
It's a game.
And it could be a draw.
It's a game I would
They're
stay
not
away
good
from.
on the road.
But I do think it's a game worth considering if you're going to bet. I mean, plus 180 does sweeten that deal. Cincinnati plus 180 against DC. I love it. I don't understand. DC's plus 130.
I love it if Evander plays.
That's a big caveat. Even without Evander, I still kind of love it at plus 180, I'll be honest with you.
I don't know. They're going home after getting the shit kicked out of them in San Jose. You feel like they've got to do something. Benteke can hit a hat trick in any game.
Yeah, that's true. Philly plus 175 going to New York City.
I like that. That was a horrible draw.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You got to come back from that.
I think
and they're a better team than New York City.
Vancouver minus 115 at home playing Austin. To me, that feels like a simple bet. I don't know what would hold you back from that one.
I mean, that they played midweek with CCC.
The draw is in
But they've been doing that, and they're still 5-1-1.
Well, and the draw is plus 250. If you're really worried about it, just bet both. You'll still make money.
They will not lose that game.
I don't think so either. And you can do that. Bet home minus 115. Bet the tie plus 250. You're gonna make money either way. Nashville, Real Salt Lake. I don't care, but Nashville is minus 120. Real Salt Lake is plus 290. If Zimmerman doesn't play, I could see a Real Salt Lake bet.
Yes.
Now that is only if Zimmerman
plus 290 with no Zimmerman. I am all in.
If Walker Zimmerman plays, I don't feel as confident about
No. I agree.
Dallas, Seattle, plus 155 Dallas, plus 165 Seattle. I'm staying away from this game, honestly.
Yeah, this is Dallas is very unpredictable, period.
Yeah.
And Seattle on the road sucks.
San Diego going to Colorado plus 175. I don't know how confident I am
Really?
in San Diego, but the books still
Wow.
don't like them, and that's why I do.
That's a big
because
number.
lines are not in favor of San Diego right now, and I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what win they have
Mile
to get.
high?
Literally, though, I don't
The
know.
thin air is going to beat them.
I don't get it. And Colorado's plus 135 too. It's not like there's some heavy favorite. Houston Dynamo. So the Galaxy are plus 105 at home. The Dynamo are plus 225 on the road. I like them at plus 225. I don't like them under plus 200, but plus 225.
I really like him at that
It's just
number.
hard to stay away from.
Yes.
LAFC. I mean, San Jose is plus 475.
Wow.
That's insane.
Yes, that is.
It's the craziest number I've ever heard.
If it was the NFL, I would think that they know something we don't, and they're like, bet it, do it, man, do it.
Plus 475 is just
for a team
nuts.
that just won 6-1.
I mean, San Jose is on a tear right now. LAFC sucks right now. I don't see what is making this line, and I don't think.
What's the draw?
Plus 340. They're really, really confident in LA win.
Oh my
LAFC
God!
is minus 200.
Oh my
If
God!
you bet LAFC, you should be lobotomized. If you bet,
That's
honestly,
crazy.
what I would do is, if you have the funds, I would throw $100 on the tie and $100 on San Jose, because either way, you're making a profit, and I don't see a world where LAFC wins this game. I just don't.
Wow.
Portland Sporting. I mean, Portland's plus 210. I do like them. That game scares me. I mean,
Yeah.
Kansas City's 1-1-5. They're gonna win games at some point. It's not. I don't know if this is the one, but I do think it's coming. Chicago, Miami. Miami's plus 135. I like Miami on the road against Chicago. I think they're probably gonna win. And then St. Louis, Columbus.
I don't know about Miami.
It's plus 160.
Messi
Chicago.
and Suarez have played 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
CCC midweek, Toronto on the weekend, CCC midweek.
If it wasn't Chicago, I would be more willing to.
Chicago's not terrible, and they score goals. They just don't defend.
Terrible.
But Miami doesn't defend either. I mean, this could be a 4-3
Miami
game.
scores goals, and Chicago doesn't defend.
Do they score goals, though, if they have no Messi or Suarez?
They do.
They have, and I don't know how.
But they do. I mean, it's the numbers are there.
Yeah.
As much as I don't want them to be. Everything in me wants Miami to lose more games, but they don't. And they're anytime Miami's plus money, you gotta at least consider it.
The Sunday night game of the week, 0-0.
Yeah, no,
what a horrible game.
I mean, it's plus 250 on the draw. Honestly, I'd consider it. Plus 165 for the Columbus Crew to win. I don't see a world where St. Louis wins this game, so I could see maybe, you bet half on the tie, bet full on the away, and
I would rather watch an
kinda hedge your
NBA
bet.
game than this dog shit.
Honestly, I think there's enough good games that you don't need to bet this one, even though I think it's
You don't need to watch this one.
Yeah, I would really stick to that plus 475 for San Jose. I think that's the best value on this list. And then honestly,
I like Minnesota.
Yeah, I love Minnesota at plus.
I like Orlando.
And I love Charlotte at plus 180. I really do. I like plus 180. I don't
love
that. You said Montreal's.
Yeah.
Do you think this is their first win? I don't. I don't think Zaha's as big of a deal out as people think it is.
Charlotte's so bad on the road. Do you remember the Colorado game?
I do. I saw it. And I don't know. I think I want to bet Charlotte, and that's why.
The Seattle game. They tied, but they didn't deserve that. That was an own goal that tied it up.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm not going to bet on Charlotte, even though I kind of think it's the right move. Because I'm so scared. I'm
not trying to talk you out of it.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no money anyway. I shouldn't be betting regardless. But even if I'm going to bet, I'm not going to bet on Charlotte this week. But I at least wanted to bring it up. I think it's a game that's worth looking at.
Yeah.
At plus 180, I think that's at least worth considering.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, that's pretty much all we've got. We really made up for being short last week. I think we did about an hour 30 here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, John, is there anything else you want to say to the people?
Good luck, and always check your lineups.
Check your lineups, guys. We will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.